The very warmest of welcomes to you indeed to the Pohang Steel Yard and the AFC Champions League Two. It's match day 4 in the group stage and the Pohang Steelers host Tampines Rovers, the Singaporean team who absolutely stunned one of the most famous teams in Asia with a victory in the previous match day. As a result, they are at the top of the group. But now the Pohang Steelers seek revenge. So much excitement generated by that fantastic win in Singapore. Tampines Rovers have been the talk of the town, and their players are excited to come here and face the Pohang Steelers away from home. Nur Rahman, the head coach, was talking about just how much there's a sense of real excitement, of confidence, of positive energy, but he knows how tough this task is going to be. He's fully aware that this is one of the great teams of Asia. But what a defensive effort we saw from Tampines Rovers. What determination they showed in that first match. They went a goal up in the opening minute from Hide Higashikawa and managed to hold on. They're going to have to be phenomenal defensively from start to finish. They have got some very fine players. They've got a great sense of team spirit and they've got a great chance. And what of the Pohang Steelers? What of Park Tae-ha's players? How are they feeling going into this match, having been upset so stunningly in what was the standout result of match day 3 across the entire AFC Champions League Two? This, after all, is a team that has won the AFC Champions League and its predecessor competition twice. They were runners-up as recently as 2021. 10 campaigns in the Champions League, including the elite stage last season. This, their first campaign in AFC Champions League 2. For Tampines Rovers, it is their second consecutive AFC Champions League 2 campaign. They competed 13 times in the predecessor AFC Cup. And they were participants in the group stage of the Champions League in 2021. Pohang Steelers were founded in 1973, just a couple of years before Tampines Rovers were promoted to the top flight. The visitors are the older club by 28 years. The Pohang Steelers have gone through many a name change during that time. And they've also been 5 times champions of the Republic of Korea. The last was in 2013. They currently sit 4th in K-League 1. Tampines Rovers are 3rd in the top flight of Singaporean football. They do have a game in hand over great rivals Geylang International, who are 2 points above them, and the Lion City Sailors, who are 7 points above them. That's enough of the domestic form. Now let's turn our attention to continental competition. The AFC Champions League 2, a fantastic opportunity for clubs across this great footballing continent to test themselves against each other. And what a test it was for the Pohang Steelers, one of the great clubs in Asia, when they were beaten 1-0 by Tampines Rovers on match day 3. Well, now it's match day 4, and now Tampines Rovers have come to the Steel Yard, and they'll need nerves of steel to do what they did last time. It's going to be a huge challenge, but the Singaporean club has never, ever shied away from that. You can bet that these players will be desperate for revenge. Desperate to go into the knockout stage and hear the AFC Champions League Two competition anthem continue to be played at the Steel Yard. The fans of the Steel Warriors ready to entertain the Stags, hopefully outrun them. They were founded as Pohang Iron and Steel Company, or POSCO FC, in 1973. Visiting fans optimistic that this is going to be another famous night in Singaporean football. Captain Shazwan Buhari and Yi Dong-hee lead their teammates down the line. In goal for the Pohang Steelers is Yoon Pyong-guk. He's not the preferred goalkeeper in the league, but has played every match in this competition. The captain is number 3, Yi Dong-hee, who plays in defence, looking for his first goal in continental competition, and indeed his first goal of the season in any competition, is number 10, Pek Sung-dong. And it's a star-studded bench for the home team. Will the likes of Jorge Luis and Juninho be needed? Yes, they really do have tremendous players in reserve to bring on the Pohang Steelers. It is, as you would expect, a deep substitutes bench. Shazwan Buhari, joined by Yi Dong-hee. And the best of luck to Nasrullah Kabirov of Tajikistan, who looks after this contest with an all-Central Asian team of officials. Shazwan Buhari keeps goal for Tampines Rovers. He's made well over 200 appearances for the club. The vice-captain is number 4, Shuyem Yamashita, a centre-back born in Japan but based in Singapore since 2021. Another Japanese player is number 25, Hide Higashikawa, who scored the only goal of the previous meeting between these teams. On the bench for the visitors, a lot of experience, but also some youngsters hoping for a chance, like number 74, Naufal Mohammed. When they start to make noise, they are a formidable force, the fans of the Steel Warriors. It's always imposing to come to any club in the Republic of Korea. If Tampines Rovers can get off to the kind of start that they enjoyed in the previous match day, then they may quieten down the atmosphere at the Steel Yard. That's no easy task. And there's the gentleman who did it. Hide Higashikawa, on loan from Tochigi City in the Japanese third tier. The goalkeeper for the Pohang Steelers today is Yoon Pyong-guk. Only 2 appearances in K-League 1. The backup is a very young goalkeeper, 20-year-old Kwon Nung. Moments away from match day 4.
Ladies and gentlemen, the moment we've been waiting for. Let the countdown begin. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
The very warmest of welcomes to you indeed. It's great to have your company at the Steel Yard in Pohang in the Republic of Korea for this meeting between the Pohang Steelers and Singapore's Tampines Rovers. Tampines Rovers are top of Group H in the AFC Champions League Two 2025-2026. And they're top with 3 out of 3 wins, having beaten the Pohang Steelers in the previous match day by 1-0 at home. A goal scored by number 25, Hide Higashikawa, in the first minute. Just for a moment there was a sense of deja vu, as it looked as though Trent Buhagiar was going to have an opportunity at number 12, but they couldn't bring him into play. There he is, lurking around Yoon Byung-guk, Hide Higashikawa. Rahman has spoken of the excitement the players feel at having this opportunity to come to one of the great grounds of Asia, to take on one of the great teams of Asia, and frankly to beat again one of the great teams of Asia, as Tampines Rovers seek to be the talked about team once more in the AFC Champions League Two, because they were the side everyone was discussing after the last match day. How could you not after a win like that? To all of you who are watching and supporting the team from Singapore in this meeting, as there's a great chance here for Tampines Rovers early on to try and put a little pressure on. It was Glenn Quay they were trying to get involved. I was about to say, I hope that your nerves are all right for the time being. Hope that you're not too jittery. Probably ask you the same question in another 25-30 minutes time and see how you're faring then, but I'm sure you enjoyed enormously the performance of your team in the previous match day. Just a touch on the needlessly combative side from Higashikawa. The Pohang Steelers pass the ball back to Lee Dong-hee, who is the captain, 25-year-old, who has played 14 times in the league this season. Very much a rotated team from the sort that is regularly contesting K-League One fixtures. Lots of the regulars from K-League One on the bench. Players like Jorge Luis and Juninho. To the right for number 7, Kim In-sung, the veteran winger who joined the club this season from Seoul Iland, 2 years there. Spent 5 years with Ulsan HD, including winning the Champions League 2020. Good bit of pace, good bit of footwork, nearly a good bit of pulling back. That was the thing that was lacking. Kim Jong-woo has the ball. Another very experienced player, 32-year-old. Back to Kim In-sung. Kim In-sung finally managing to get away and managing to get it across. That's a very good cross too. The attack is still alive. The ball is with veteran captain Shazwan Buhari. That was the first time that Kim In-sung managed to get away from Takeshi Yoshimoto, the left back. Shahiran did his best to try to stall the attack. Once the shot did finally come in, and took a touch, and Shazwan was all over it. What a servant to the club Shazwan Buhari is, closing in on being one of the all-time top 3 appearance makers for Tampines Rovers. Over 30 appearances in the league last season. He's got a nice energy to him, hasn't he, Higashikawa? Although he plays up front, he's always happy to track back, runs hard, shows a great sense of commitment. But it has been very much the Pohang Steelers in control of the ball early on. They're led by Park Tae-ha, who took over the club in 2023. Very much a Steelers legend as a player. Around 200 appearances as a winger. The end of the 90s, or rather through the 90s into the start of the noughties. No Rahman did also play for Tampines. Played for the club at the end of his career. This will come in from Pek Sung-dung. When Quay was out-jumped as number 18, Kwang Hyun-jae, was trying to get to that ball ahead of Shazwan. Out of defence by Dylan Fox. Nice little flick on. That was intelligently done by number 12, Trent Buhagia. Park Chan-yong plays it back to goalkeeper Yoon Pyung-guk. They're very pleased to have Park Chan-yong back, the 29-year-old who has just completed his military service. Returned just over a week ago from Gimcheon-sangmu, the army club, having played 30 times for them this season in K-League One. He has made one appearance already in the league since coming back, which ironically was in the 1-0 win at Gimcheon-sangmu. Was about 5 days ago. Yoshimoto, first chance really for him to get forward, and here he is. Not a bad idea. The construction of that attack was promising from the team in yellow. They're going to need to work hard to recover possession and try to put a little pressure on the Pohang Steelers' defence, but in doing so not leave themselves very open for the Steelers to break through the press. It's going to be quite a difficult path to tread actually for Tampines Rovers. Was a very good idea, lovely through ball. It's intelligently done because it was almost a feint to suggest a shot was coming. Yes, exactly, thumbs up in acknowledgement of the intelligence of that pass. Played by Park Chan-yong. The greatest ball out of defence really from Shazwan Buhari. It invited pressure. Pressure relieved by the foul on Jacob Mahler. Marlowe, a new signing for Tampines back in the summer. Back to Singapore after leaving his first club, the Young Lions, back in 2023. He was the captain there. Kim In-sung manages to go out to Park Sung-uk. Here is Park Sung-uk. Just stabbed towards Higashikawa. Can they counter? If they are to do it, he'll be a really important feature of the counter-attack. Uhagia. They were looking for Higashikawa, who's scored 6 goals in all competitions already for Tampines. Park Sung-uk, played back by number 88 Kim Dong-jin, one of the younger players in the starting lineup. Space opens up. It's a very good ball. Managed to find his way to Kim In-sung, unexpectedly perhaps. His Cho Jae-hoon blocked. I think some of the Tampines coaching staff felt they ought to have cut that ball out before it went all the way diagonally, quite slowly across the defence to Kim In-sung. Did well in the end, number 26 Takeshi Yoshimoto, because although he couldn't get to the first one, he blocked the second. As ultimately Higashikawa was fouled, and we're looking at number 88 Koya Kazama, the 32-year-old from Hiroshima Prefecture in Japan. Joined the club this summer from a 4-year spell at Jeff United Chiba. Quite a good delivery, that. Goalkeeper had to act, and foul given before Shuya Yamashita could swing at it. But that was challengingly put in by Koya Kazama. The Tampines players will make the argument that there was really no impediment to the goalkeeper. Lee Dong-hee. In this campaign he's made 4 appearances, including today, which is the most he's ever made in any continental competition. Shazwan, he's played almost 30 times in AFC club competitions. Tampines Rovers, absolute veterans of the old AFC Cup. Replaced by the extremely exciting AFC Champions League Two in that real change to the look of Asian football that happened moving into last season. But I think there are a lot of people with very fond memories of the AFC Cup as well. It was a wonderful competition. Change is a very fine thing. It invigorates football, and the AFC Champions League Two is a delight to watch because you get these sorts of high-profile meetings between teams like Pohang Steelers and Tampines Rovers that throw up enormous shocks. And it gives so many clubs a huge platform. Kim In-sung. Sung-uk. They've controlled so much of the ball. They haven't really managed to get clear chances. been a determined effort from Tampines defensively. There's an example of it. Just a question of whether they can actually do anything with the ball. Pohang Steelers keep recovering it, and one feels surely that there will be a very clear chance for the home team soon. Park Song-wook to Lee Dong-hee, and it's now out with 26th Park Chang-yong, who, as I mentioned earlier, is a great reacquisition for the club, having completed that military service. Oh goodness, that ball shouldn't really have stayed with the Steelers. Kim In-sung goes over. There'll be a little consternation in the Tampines Rovers defence about how they didn't recover that ball. Did have to scramble Dylan Fox and at least managed to provide coverage to stop there being a clear shot from a central position. So although it was an okay chance for Kim In-sung, it wasn't a sort of ideal centrally located opportunity with no defensive coverage. He's had so much of the ball, the veteran winger, and he couldn't have been more clearly clipped there by the Maltese international Trent Buhagiar. Trent Buhagiar has gone to the seaside setting of Singapore from the Caspian seaside setting of Kapaz in Azerbaijan, where he was before joining the club. Truly one of the most extraordinary things you can experience if you've never had the chance to visit the Caspian seaside. I'd recommend it. It's a remarkable place. That was, yes, very clearly a late challenge. Referee was waiting to see if there was an advantage, but nothing to be gained. He certainly knows it, Tashuya Yamashita. There's late challenges and there's being in a different time zone from the match, and that unfortunately was in the latter category. Quite central, quite far out, and on his hips for Kim Dong-jin, who would like to be involved in this. Young player who has scored in K-League One, but that was last season. Only one goal for the club. Will it be him with a left foot, or will it be a right-footed attempt? Let's discover. It is Kim Dong-jin, and it's really comfortably saved by Shazwan. Great goalkeeping. But what a nice free kick from the young player who's in his second season in the first team. And this is a great example of uncomplicated goalkeeping from Shazwan. He sets off very early, knows obviously where the ball is going to go from the way that it struck. It was obviously going to curl towards the far post. He sets off with great clarity. Comfortably turns it behind the post. Probably would have ideally liked to hold on to it, but got the job done. Really was rather thumped straight into the chest. Absolutely no opportunity for Marler to brace himself for it. Born in the lovely city of Copenhagen, but moved from Denmark to Singapore and represents the national team. Scored twice in World Cup qualification. Very bright gentleman, has a diploma in aerospace electronics from Temasek Polytechnic. Quite a well-known institution, a lot of athletes across a range of Singaporean sports represent that place. Fine ball that, but no real problems for Shuya Yamashita. The vice-captain has made a very controlled start in the defence. Corner kick headed away by his fellow countryman Hide Higashikawa, who's shown a lot of determination, as you'd expect from him, to get back and defend in a match where he's going to need to get back and defend a lot. That win for Tampines Rovers in the previous match day, coming as it did at the end of last month, attracted, as I said, a great deal of attention at a time when there were some very positive moments going on in Singaporean sport generally. I'll come back to that in just a moment. That should be comfortable for the goalkeeper as it drifts wide from Kim Dong-jin. Yes, as I was saying, the victory for Tampines, coming as it did on the 23rd of October, was hugely talked about across the continent. And it came really around a time when there was a lot to celebrate in terms of famous moments in Singaporean sport, because just a couple of days after that, for the first time ever, a Singaporean artistic gymnast made it to the final stage of a World Championship competition. A young woman by the name of Amanda Yap, who was a balance beam finalist in Jakarta at the World Championships. That was a huge moment for Singaporean sport. So it was a feel-good few days in Singapore. Oh, that was a difficult one. That was a great block to follow up. I think it was Yamashita. I think the lowness of the bounce of that ball really caught out the Tampines defence. He knew it would be like this. He was very clear about it in his pre-match interview, expected it to be very much a case of having to respond to extensive Pohang Steelers possession. And there have been a couple of almost last-ditch moments in the Tampines defence. But so far, so good for the visitors. Just wonder, don't you, if it's one of those occasions where the visiting fans would, despite the long journey they've made, be very happy for the full-time whistle to be blown now. Who wouldn't take 4 points out of 6 against a team like the Pohang Steelers? Kim In-sung to Kim Dong-jin, who produced that decent free kick. Kim In-sung really ferociously blocked behind for the corner kick by Bahagia. He's got a very good record in continental competition, by the way, Trent Bahagia. 15 appearances and 10 goals before today. 12 of those appearances and 7 of those goals for Australian clubs in the Champions League. And he has scored 3 times for Tampines. Corner kick from Pek Sung-dong. Quite a good one. Cleared by Shazwan, but immediately recovered. Well, I was about to say immediately recovered by Kim Jong-woo, but I spoke too soon. That really a touch on the wasted side, more than a touch on the wasted side from Tampines Rovers, who haven't had much chance to just get hold of the ball and move it around. We are fast approaching the last 15 minutes of the first half. If you are joining the contest late, there's little to report other than a few half chances for the Pohang Steelers. Plenty of possession for the team from the Republic of Korea, as expected. And also as expected, a lot of intensity and discipline and tenacity from Tampines. But if the whole match is going to be like this for the Singaporean team, it's hard to imagine that the Pohang Steelers won't find a way through. That said, I think that's how virtually all of Asia was thinking and feeling during the first match, and it didn't happen. I don't think it would be a surprise to see fairly early in the second half, if it stays scoreless, Park Tae-ha choose to bring on either of the Brazilians, Jorge Luis or Juninho, the latter celebrating his 28th birthday yesterday. Sung-uk, graduate of Dong University, then actually dropped right down into the third tier to play for the Busan Transportations Corporation. Spent 3 years in the third division before joining the Pohang Steelers, so he worked very hard for his opportunity in the top flight of football in the Republic of Korea. Pohang. Now then, is this a rare chance for Higashikawa? It's being shepherded a little into the corner by Kim Dong-jin, but forward from full-back was Takeshi Yoshimoto, and how pacily he made his way forwards. He has scored twice for the club, including in the 3-0 win at Kaya on the 18th of September. Good sense of awareness from Higashikawa. And a good job done by Lee Dong-hee to close down Yoshimoto. Joined the club from a spell at FC Ryukyu in the Japanese third tier, club in beautiful Okinawa. Back in it goes. And here's Yoshimoto. There was Yoshimoto. Got to watch out for a counter-attack. That was a very important touch. Last chance really for Tampines Rovers to get that ball away. Because goodness me, there was a whole host of red shirts waiting to charge forwards and overpower what was left of the Tampines Rovers defence. It's such an interesting dynamic. It's that absolutely classic underdog spirit of holding on, trying to snatch an unexpected goal. And you just wonder for how much longer they can hold on. But as we just saw there from Higashikawa and Yoshimoto, they've got counter-attacking potential of their own. Kim Dong-jin, that should be cut out, and indeed it was. Really well done by Irfan Najib, the defender who spent his whole career at the club. It's a little more intensity to Tampines Rovers in attack suddenly, and maybe that could actually be of benefit to the Pohang Steelers. They might catch them out. It's a good turn, and it's nearly a good pullback. There's going to be a chance to shoot now. It's over. Cho Jae-hoon, who came up through the youth team, who's never scored a senior goal. And he had more than a fair chance of getting one. Chested down by Park Sung-uk. Here he is again, Cho Jae-hoon. He's going to shoot, and it's really harmless. But it's another demonstration of the young man's determination to create chances. Deflected behind, actually, by Dylan Fox. Quite securely, without too much jeopardy. Pek Sung-dung, Olympic bronze medalist from London in 2012. Great corner. Amazingly, it stays out. Park Chang-yong didn't score in the league competition for Kim Chon-sang-mu. They were very close to getting a goal there. This time it does find a Pohang Steelers player, but drifts comfortably over. There is an absolute abundance of danger on that bench. And they're warming up the substitutes. The likes of Oberdan, of Jorge Luis, of Juninho. Yes, I neglected to include Oberdan when I was talking about the Brazilians who might come on. Also, they've got Iho J on the bench, who's had an extremely good season in the league. And he, one imagines, will be the most obvious choice to bring on to inject a clear goal scorer into the conversation. Still time, probably about 10 minutes to go until the break. Is anyone going to get on the end of that? No, well touched away by Fox, and there was a foul anyway. He's had a very disciplined game. Nice little flick by Higashikawa to Buhagia, and he has been impeded. Had to be a yellow card, really, for Kim Dungjin, I should say. There's pulling a shirt, and there's pulling a shirt. Shahiran with the free kick for Tampines Rovers as we approach the last 5 minutes of the first half in this Group H meeting on matchday 4 of the AFC Champions League Two 2025-2026. Lovely to have you with us wherever you're joining from and whoever you're supporting. If it's the first time you've had the opportunity to see the AFC Champions League 2, then don't be a stranger. Stay with us for all of the remaining match days in the group stage and on to the knockout phase of the competition. And of course there is the AFC Champions League Elite to enjoy. You can find all of the fixtures very readily available for your diary planning. Number 20 is Anje Jun. 1 goal away from the 20th of his career. The vast majority have been accomplished for Bucheon United in the second tier. It will be, I think, oh, that's got to be a foul. Yeah, I heard the clip on Higashikawa. As I was about to say before that foul, it would be something of a surprise if the same 11 come back out for the Pohang Steelers after the intermission, unless that is the head coach chooses to give it just another 5 minutes or so to settle in. Another foul. And he's in some disagreement about it, number 23, Irfan Najib, but it is a yellow card. He's been penalised for that challenge on Pek Sung-dong. His argument will be that it was just the sort of natural movement as he was himself being brought to ground. Not that it would have been relevant there, but now is a suitable time to mention to you that there is no video review system in operation in the Champions League Two. Back to Yoon Pyong-guk, who's had a very quiet contest. It has been very much a match played in the Tampines Rovers half, although he made an important intervention to deny what would have been a complete goal against the run of play by Takeshi Yoshimoto. And here is Yoshimoto. Shah Shahiran. He's very close to 150 appearances in the league, including his time on loan at Young Lions. Shah Shahiran turns 26 next week. And we're close to discovering how much additional time there's going to be in this first half. Buhagia. Can you imagine if they can steal a goal here? That would just be devastating for Pohang Steelers. Kazama. Oh my goodness me! Oh, it's off the bar from Higashikawa. What chaos at the back for the Pohang Steelers, and what a huge missed opportunity that is. Completely left. Oh, what on earth was Park Chang-yong thinking? He obviously had no idea that Higashikawa was right there. That will be a very relieved gentleman. That would have been one of the most extraordinary moments that we've had in this season's AFC Champions League Two. If the Tampines Rovers goal had come with really their only meaningful chance right before half-time. Oh dear, that's certainly a foul. Must be careful. 1 minute to be added on. He really must be careful. Why pull the shirt there? Having already been shown a yellow card, it's inviting trouble. Probably the last opportunity of the first half, but it's a good run as well. Great free kick, thumped, blocked by Yoshimoto. Counter-attack may be on here, Yoshimoto, and that may be the last opportunity for Tampines Rovers to get the ball forward before the break. What a fascinating, frantic conclusion to the first half that was, all spurred on by Hide Higashikawa thumping the ball against the crossbar. There were opportunities for the Pohang Steelers, particularly the free kick from Kim Dong-jin, but they just haven't been able to find a way through this disciplined effort from the visitors. At half-time, it's Pohang Steelers 0, Tampines Rovers 0.
Still a Skytrax 5-star airline. That's a lot of bets. And none of it happens without the best passengers. Thank you for flying with us. And for voting for us. We go further because of you.
I landed in an unexplored territory. I thought things wouldn't be.
Very much as expected, changes are coming for the Pohang Steelers. It looks as though we are to see Obadan, Juninho and Ihoje. And that will probably have quite a big impact on the level of ferocity up front for the home team. Yes, that's not a bad substitutes bench, is it? Obadan, the 30-year-old wearing number 8, who's played 31 times in the league this season, scoring 6. And then you have Juninho on the right. Celebrated his 28th birthday yesterday. He's only scored twice in the league this season, in 26 matches, but 19 goals during his time in the Republic of Korea. And then you have, in the background, but likely to be in the foreground of this second half, Ihoje, who is about to make his 150th appearance for the club and who is having his best ever season. 31 appearances, 15 goals in the league. 16 goals in all competitions this season. It is credit to Noor Rahman's team that these 3 changes have been required. And it's going to be a very long and possibly rather painful 45 minutes coming up for Tampines Rovers. And just think they might have been a goal up. Kim In-sung has been replaced at half-time by Juninho. We're also bidding farewell to Kang Hyun-jae for Juninho. And An Jae-jun replaced by the goal scorer, Ihoje, who's got 15 in the league in 31 matches. He went so close right before half-time, striking the bar.
7번 김인성, 18번 강현재, 20번 안재준 선수 나옵니다.
The very warmest of welcomes to you to the second half at the Pohang Steel Yard. The Pohang Steelers goalless with Tampines Rovers of Singapore at the break. The team from the Republic of Korea, who won the AFC Champions League in 2009, have made 3 changes at half-time. Obadan and Juninho, 2 Brazilians brought on, along with Ihoje, who has been in spectacular form in the league this season. He makes his 150th appearance for the club, and he scored 15 in 31 matches in K-League One. The players who have departed: Kim In-sung, number 7, number 18, Kang Hyun-jae, and number 20, An Jae-jun. So the task remains the same for Tampines Rovers, except it is likely to be a little more difficult. Same process though. Keep at bay this very good team and try, if you can, to steal a goal. And my goodness, they nearly did it. Higashikawa hitting the crossbar with one of the last attacks of the entire half. Here's Koya Kazama. He's another who's played for FC Ryukyu in Okinawa, like the fullback Takeshi Yoshimoto. Touched out to the left wing to Cho Jae-hoon, and he tries to cut inside. That's nicely done to Kim Jong-woo, and that wasn't quite as nicely done. Kim Jong-woo joined the club a couple of years ago from Gwangju. Spent 3 years there after starting at his hometown club, the Suwon Samsung Blue Wings. Memorably scored his first goal for the club in the FA Cup final. Cho Jae-hoon is still in search of his first senior goal. It looked initially as though that was going in the right direction towards Juninho. It just curled harmlessly away and straight into the path of Yoshimoto. A lot to like about Yoshimoto, but he's going to be very busy in this second half, contending with Juninho on the right, and there might be a danger of him overcommitting to a counter-attack and then not being able to get back in time. Kim Jong-woo trying to prod it through. It's from Kim Dong-jin out to Cho Jae-hoon. Explores his options. That's a very good idea, and amazingly it doesn't go in. Juninho couldn't cleanly connect, but well played by Cho Jae-hoon. Good ball out from Kim Dong-jin. These two 22-year-olds combining. There actually was a touch, I think, from Shazwan, and that might have been quite important. Park Chang-yong, who had a chance of his own in the first half. Cho Jae-hoon, he does love to try to cut inside. He's not quite there yet as a player, but there's some very exciting signs about Cho Jae-hoon. He's developing well. He's only played a few times in the league this season, after 14 appearances on loan at Jeonnam in the last campaign. So very important that he makes the most of these opportunities in the AFC Champions League Two. Did make a few appearances in the 2023-2024 campaign. Was had a high boot on Yamashita. Referee Nazrullo Kabirov of Tajikistan didn't think so. Obadan to Juninho, to nobody apart from Glenn Quay, who gets it away. Cho Jae-hoon again, this time chose to play it quickly. That was a bit of variation from Cho Jae-hoon, and that was clever because I think by and large the Tampines players were expecting him to try to run it centrally. Really are starting to get more space down the right wing. Juninho, now it's going to be Kim Dong-jin over the bar. But Juninho is looking very dangerous down the right. 5 times the Pohang Steelers have been the champions of K-League One, the most recent just over a decade ago. Tampines Rovers, the same number of times they've won the Singaporean Premier League. They did 3 times win the predecessor competition. Pek Sung-dong moves it out to the lively Cho Jae-hoon. Just played that a little behind, but play stopped anyway. This will give us an idea of exactly what happened. Just seemed to get a knee in the back from Lee Dong-hee. Hide Higashikawa. Just a loan signing from Tochigi City. Hide Higashikawa played 9 times in the Japanese 3rd division earlier this year in J3. Scored on his debut in the 4-1 Community Shield win over the Lion City Sailors. He really is an enterprising and committed player. One imagines they will be quite invested, Tampines Rovers, in trying to hold on to him for as long as they can. And he in turn seems to really enjoy being at the club. Cho Jae-hoon, that required a decision. Something we also need to keep an eye on is that number 23 Irfan Najib is on a yellow card, and I don't think came too far away from a second one late on in the first half. Whether they might bring on someone like Amirul Adli as we go on. So far, the disciplined effort from Tampines Rovers has done the trick. And actually, Shazwan Buhari hasn't really had to make too many saves. This is a well-coached team. This is a determined team. They've absolutely earned their place at the top of Group H. Fiji Pathum United and Kaya Iloilo of Thailand and the Philippines, respectively, will meet on match day 4. And for Kaya, victory is essential. They have lost all of their 3 matches so far. Now then, what about this? What about Glenn Quay, who's well away, who's on his way, and the Tampines Rovers shocks go on and on and on! In the steel yard, they've stolen a goal. Silence in the Republic of Korea. The Pohang Steelers 0, Tampines Rovers 1. That is fabulous football from Glenn Quay. The first time he's ever scored a continental goal. In a match like this, where you have to defend and defend and defend, when you get limited chances, you've got to take one. And boy, did he take that. It's not a shock that it's him. He's had a great start to the season with 3 goals in 4 games in the league. got a brace in the 3-3 draw that they had in the league on the 19th of October. But that is just fascinating. I mean, you can hear, I'm sure, the complete change in atmosphere. And suddenly, Kim Dong-jin was being urged by the crowd to shoot. And maybe that's what's going to happen now. Anytime they get near the goal, the fans of the Steel Warriors will want them to hit it. They couldn't possibly, could they? 2 wins against the Pohang Steelers. Headed clear by Dylan Fox. I can just imagine all of the Tampines Rovers fans watching that breakaway as Glenn Quay started bearing down on goal, a bit like the end of a horse race, like the Grand National, with everyone just shouting at their TV sets, as though the louder they shouted, the faster he'd run. We are close to the 1 hour mark of this fixture. Pohang Steelers 0, Tampines Rovers 1. Flicked on, touched away by Koya Kazama. Nervous moment for Tampines. Did get it away, and that's all that matters right now. First touch was from Yoshimoto. Tampines Rovers fans prepare for a very long 30 minutes. Pohang Steelers fans prepare for a very short 30 minutes. Off the bar from Obadan. That just floated its way towards goal, looked as though it was heading over from the Brazilian midfielder. All of the eyes of the Tampines Rovers defenders fixed on that ball as it just wouldn't drop. They escape again. Another corner kick, another chance, another clearance. A wonderful idea to hit there with all of those players packed in front of goal, and the visibility of Shatwan Buhari likely compromised, but Kim Dong-jin, despite the power and the relative cleanliness of the strike, couldn't find the trajectory. Roar of excitement as the attacks go on, but the excitement is now mixed with tension, with anticipation of perhaps another famous upset, with real anxiety in the stands. Obadan just cannot get a chance to finish. Another block. This is extraordinary from Tampines Rovers. Again it stays out with Obadan in front of goal. Shazwan Buhari just chuckles away. Is it going to be one of those weird and wild days in an AFC competition? A long way still to go. Goalkeeper's lost that. It's going to be... Oh my goodness! That's ridiculous. Well, yes, he was at fault initially, but that was heading in. What a save from Shazwan Buhari. Because he's going completely and utterly in the wrong direction when he makes that save. Goodness knows if it was actually heading in or not, but he had to do something. It's pure chaos at the moment, isn't it? We've lost Pek Sung Dong and we've brought on Jorge Luis for the Pohang Steelers, the Brazilian striker. I tell you what, you are guaranteed thrills when you watch any AFC Champions League competition, be it Elite or Champions League Two. It never disappoints. Jorge Luis. First involvement from him, that's cleared. Well, let's have a look back at this moment, or let's not, because there's an attack coming. We'll try again later if we have time. We may not have time, such is the way this match is going. But there's the man who scored the only goal. Shazwan Buhari. May not have been going in, but how could he have known? He had to make a decision. Hard to be sure, but that was agile work from the veteran. Pohang Steelers still keep trying to cultivate chances. Really well won back. Now it's with Juninho, who's on the other flank.
Substitution for Tampines Rovers FC.
And the first change being made by Tampines Rovers. Faris Ramli is coming on to replace Glenn Quay. Consider your job well and truly done, young man. The scorer of the only goal, replaced by Faris Ramli. Very experienced midfielder. Great to be able to bring on someone of this stature in the game. Oh, that was close to being a penalty kick. Is the shooting chance going to finally come? Even for in-form Iho J, it just wouldn't happen. Kim Jong-woo. With Park Chang-yong moving well forward from centre-back. Everyone trying to create something. Cho Jae-hoon won't fall to him. What about to Obadan? Tampines Rovers, if they hold on to win this, which is one of the most heavily caveated ifs out there, because there is a lot still to come in this contest, no doubt. Is that offside? It must be, yes, said Higashikawa, well ahead of the line. As I was going to say, if they hold on to win it, they'll be on 12 points. The Pohang Steelers will be on 6. This result, by the way, will be splendid news for the likes of Vichy Patum United and Kaya Iloilo. The last thing they want is for the Pohang Steelers to join Tampines on 9 points. Out to the left, here is Cho Jae-hoon, tries to create space, and it's well read by Shazwan. And he's justified the armband, as he so often does. Dependable, experienced goalkeeper Shazwan Buhari. Substitutes, managing to get that away cleverly. Faris Ramli showing his experience, how he dealt with that. Two really significant touches by Ramli. First to try to create the attack, and then when the attack stalled, he very calmly pushed it back to the defence to avoid concession of possession. And if you are supporting the Pohang Steelers in this match, you are, I think, united by all football fans across the world in the shared inevitability of that feeling when you've been dominating a match against a less fancied team, against a team who's barely been able to create any attacking chances. You just can't do anything, you can't get the ball in, you can't even necessarily get many shots on target, and you just know, don't you, it's that sinking feeling in the pit of your stomach that they are going to steal a goal on the counter. There's not a team in the world that hasn't experienced it. Oh, amazingly, that's made its way through, but it was blocked. Park Sung-uk, who hit the shot, missed chances to get the ball clear for Tampines Rovers as we approach the last 20 minutes of this fixture. Obadan plays it to Jorge Luis. And there's the gentleman who had the shot blocked, Park Sung-uk. Not fully cleared. Second time a little more compelling, but it's still, well, no, it's not now. And look who's there trying to grab hold of a lost cause, Hide Higashikawa. Obadan. Nice play for Obadan, he'll shoot, it'll be blocked, of course it'll be blocked. Everything is being blocked, and that's going to be a foul on number 12, Trent Buhagia. A change coming for Tampines. This is Higashikawa from Koya Kazuma. He is cut out by Lee Dong-hee and felt it should have been a corner kick. Frustrations are starting to be heard from the stands. I think they felt, a lot of the fans, that ball should have been played out to the right wing more decisively. And that's where decision-making can start to struggle in a team when we get close to the end of the match. Only partially cut out. Whoa, that was chaotic to the extreme. You feel certain, don't you, that there's going to be a clear chance for the Pohang Steelers soon. Jorge Luis trying to find space to hit. Faris Ramli just wouldn't let him do it. Kim Dong-jin looking for an option, finding an option, just going over the top of substitute in-form goal scorer Lee Ho-jae. He can only flick it with his head. Total control from the Pohang Steelers, but no goal. Cho Jae-hoon. Is the equaliser coming? Kim Dong-jin. He'll have to go out to the left again, urging the ball to be put in, and it's just touched behind by Obadan, who couldn't get any sort of angle. Sega Sumi, the player who joined the club this summer. He replaces Hide Higashikawa, who's worked very hard. He always works very hard. Segasumi, very much a defensively minded midfielder, so he has come on to provide a little substance to the centre. Very bright young man, graduate of Meiji University, which is one of Japan's most prestigious academic institutions. It's produced 2 prime ministers and 380 professional athletes. Is this match going to produce an equalising goal for the Pohang Steelers? That's the only thing that the fans of the Steel Warriors care about at the moment. Sometimes there are games like this where no matter what you do, you just cannot seem to get past the opposition defence. And that from Juninho was very, very wayward. ...15 minutes plus additional time. Pohang Steelers 0, Tampines Rovers 1. The Singaporean team close to doing the double over one of the biggest clubs in this competition. And we have now a youngster coming on in Cho Sang-hyuk. Replaces Kim Jong-woo. Cho Sang-hyuk, another forward. Rejoined the club at the start of the season, having been at Ajo University before that, but he was a player who came up through the youth team. Stolen by Buhagia. They'll be perfectly happy to just use up some time if they can, the Tampines Rovers players. Yoshimoto was hoping that was going to go his way and be a corner kick. Park Chang-yong. It's in from Cho Jae-hoon. It's a very good ball actually, and it's not kept in play. super delivery from the right-footed winger. And actually, what an intervention that turned out to be from Mashuya Yamashita. Straight into the face of Jorge Luis. It nearly ended up being a perfect pass for Jorge. Juninho, but just could not get beyond the determined fullback Takeshi Yoshimoto. Hasn't he played well? Haven't they all played well, frankly? Header down, just a little behind Cho Sang-hyuk from his fellow substitute Jorge. But they don't get the ball away, the team in yellow. Obadan. Cho Jae-hoon back to Obadan. As that moment of creativity, that breakthrough is still sought after by the team in red. Will it come now? Juninho will look to put it in, but he doesn't get a chance to. Instead, it'll come in from Park Sung-wook. Every 50-50 ball is not going their way. And what about another opportunity here on the counter? Could they make it safe? No, brilliant defending by Lee Dong-hee. That would have been the straw to break the camel's back. Well, having got his team into a mess, he got them out of it. Trent Buhagiar almost getting the chance to put that beyond Yoon Pyong-guk. That's a great effort from the captain to recover. And it was vital that he recover. Because the game would have been unrecoverable, almost certainly. Kim Dong-jin was lurking around, hoping to pick up a loose ball, but the loose ball has been picked up anyway. And now, here comes the counter-attack for the Pohang Steelers. Jorge Luis, he must surely finish here. What a bit of goalkeeping, but it's loose. Juninho stopped by Sega Sumi. And in the stands, the Pohang Steelers fans think, how on earth can we not just put this ball in? Why will the chance not come? That's going to buy Tampines Rovers some time. Faris Ramley brought to ground. Brilliantly done by the goalkeeper and covered so well in support by the defence. Slightly heavy touch there from Cho Sang-hyuk, and didn't get the second touch any better. Buhagia, he's got some space, but he's all on his own, and he nearly goes through, rather optimistically hoping for a foul, just really by running into the Pohang Steelers defender. 10 minutes, a bit of additional time. Another famous win is getting closer and closer. And if they do it, they've done it the same way as the first time, by snatching the chance when they got it and by being fantastically determined in defence. In from Cho Jae-hoon, and really rather caught Lee Ho-jae rather than him catching it. It's amazing actually how the goal has changed the energy of the game, because it has made the Pohang Steelers a little more frantic, and it's led to more errors. Oh, that's heavy. And it is going to be a yellow card. Cho Jae-hyun cautioned. And certainly he was completely out of control as he threw himself into the challenge. Two substitutions. Tara Ndao, one of the players coming on. We're also going to see Taufik Supano, Trent Buhagia and Koya Kazama are the two gentlemen coming off. So we have number 13 Taufik Supano, 10:30 last week, joined by Tara Ndao, 26-year-old Japanese player who joined the club this season after a brief spell actually on the Maltese coast, the Naxal Lions. Not often that in an AFC Champions League Two competition you get a Maltese international going off and a player coming on who's just finished playing in Malta. They will just try to bring a bit of freshness to the attack for the Tampines Rovers cause, not really to score, but just to hold the ball up with effectiveness. And that is something that Tara Ndao is proficient at doing. Well, now we're at the stage for the Pohang Steelers where a draw is about all they can reasonably aspire to. Out to Cho Jae-hoon for the umpteenth time in this match. Oh, completely miscued that chance to clear it. The substitute, Taufik Supano. Was that a foul? Well, that's a great save, but it's in. They've got it! And it's Cho Sang-hyuk. His first ever continental goal. The young substitute makes it 1-1, and the Pohang Steelers finally have a reward for pressure upon pressure upon pressure. That's unfortunate for Shazwan Buhari. It wasn't a bad save, but the price of that save was steering it right back in front of the goal. Now, could they win it? 87th minute equaliser from Cho Sang-hyuk. With me having just said that perhaps a draw is the best they can hope for realistically, it might all change. It might all change. The whole team has been enlivened. What a ball that almost was. Glenn Quay's 56th minute goal has been dealt with. Cho Sang-hyuk equalising as they now chase victory, the Pohang Steelers. We're in for a fascinating conclusion, aren't we? And now that recovery from Lee Dong-hee when Trent Buhagiar was looking to be one-on-one with Yoon Pyung-guk seems even more crucial. Jorge Luis does very well. Heavy challenge but a fair one from Jacob Mahler. And that is going to be offside against the substitute Tara Ndao. Still, for Tampines Rovers, a draw in this match would be a fantastic outcome. It might be that they don't even get that. Shazwan out together. How much additional time is there going to be? What an entertaining match it's been, particularly the second half. Header was from Fadi's family, but the ball remains with the Pohang Steelers. Obadan, Cho Jae-hoon. He will get a second attempt. It's now with Obadan to find the cross. Should be cleared. Not fully cleared. Jorge Luis picks it up. Cho Jae-hoon to the back post, and amazingly not put in by Park Chang-yong. 5 additional minutes as there was a rare moment of empty space for a red-shirted player. And goodness, this was a great opportunity for the centre-back. There is the man who got the equalising goal. Cho Sang-hyuk, who has graduated from Ajo University and graduated to the first team this season. 24 appearances and 2 goals in his first campaign in the top flight of football in the Republic of Korea. And today, well, that might have been a handball from Kim Dong-jin, but as I was saying, today a first goal in continental competition. That's well stolen by substitute Tara Ndao. He's all on his own. He's still going, but for how much longer? Not much longer. This is a very tough end to the game for Tampines Rovers. The No Ramens players who have been incredibly determined. Yoshimoto. Now it's with Yoon Pyongguk. Still we have 3 minutes to play. Group H in the East region of the AFC Champions League Two. It's gone the other way. Not the way that the Pohang Steelers fans were hoping it would go. Receiving treatment is Oberdan. That a cause of concern for him. Oh dear. That really doesn't look good. Jacob Mahler, convinced that he was fouled, he's now down. Referee keeps the game going. Last couple of minutes, last couple of chances perhaps. Kim Dong-jin, that really is questionable as to whether it was necessary. With the amount of time left, with the players in front of him, was it the wisest decision from this young player? It's understandable that he would be tempted to shoot, and goodness, we really do hope that all is well for Oberdan, because he looked in significant discomfort straight away and indicated to the bench there was a serious issue. And all of the changes have been made by the Pohang Steelers, so they are reduced now for the remainder. Flick on, a couple of flicks on, finds eventually Cho Jae-hoon, and he looked for centre-back Park Chan-yong, who's been lurking around the attack. What an exciting match it's been. Lee Dong-hee tried to go long as we confirm a yellow card to Tara Ndao. Cleared, and trying to bring it out of danger will be Faris Ramli. He stopped. The ball not kept in. That will be a Tampines Rovers ball, and it may be that the last opportunity for Pohang Steelers to win it has gone. And it was his shot. What a fascinating couple of matches between these two teams. Amazing entertainment at the Pohang Steel Yard. After Tampines Rovers won in Singapore, they almost made it 2 out of 2. Glenn Quay's 56th minute goal ultimately was cancelled out by Cho Sang-hyuk's equaliser in the 87th minute. But it was a frustrating day for the Pohang Steelers, as the reaction of their fans demonstrates. No Ramen's players were tenacious, they were hard to beat, and in the Steel Yard they had nerves of steel. At full time, it finishes Pohang Steelers 1, Tampines Rovers 1.